Welcome to the Encore Audio Archives YouTube channel. I'm Taper Dave, and this is my channel. I've uploaded hundreds of talks here that I've recorded at meetings in West LA, and I've also recorded conventions starting in 2013. I've got a bunch of those up. And Walt and Mary Murray, the original owners of Encore Audio Archives, started the company in the 80s, and Walt recorded Joe and Charlie's and a bunch of stuff down in Vista, California. My sobriety date is June 20th of 1994. I hope you find something you like, so please like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below. If you want to hear something that I don't have or that you don't see, I'll see that I get it. Anyways, take care and have a great day if you want to.
Now it is time to introduce our main speaker for tonight, Jack.
Hi, I'm Jack Grisham, and I'm an alcoholic. And it's really good to be here, and happy birthday. And I know I just got a really cool call on the phone. We were driving up here, and we're driving in the car, and we're just talking crap in the car today. And I was talking about this one time. I had a dad that was like hardcore Navy service, like really rough. And he was supposed to be gone an extra day, and he wasn't. And I was sitting in the front, like my mom and dad's house where I lived forever had a bar like right there in the front. And so my parents weren't supposed to be there till the next day. So we're just smoking a little weed, you know, sitting at the bar, and I got the bong, and I took a big bong hit, and all of a sudden the door opens. It's my old man. He goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "Just blowing a little weed." And it's like I didn't know what else to say, you know. And I just think, I mean, I love thinking. I mean, there was a lot of fun to drinking. Anyone that says that drinking and getting high wasn't fun sometimes, I don't know, maybe you weren't doing it right or something. I don't know what was going on, but I remember there used to be a lot of fun and a lot of craziness. And I like to tell the new guys, like when the new guys come in, stay away from the pamphlets. Like don't look at the pamphlets right away, because they're frightening. The pamphlets are frightening. Have you ever looked at the pamphlet to the teenage alcoholic? Have you ever looked at that one? It's like, I don't know whose grandma they got to write that crap, but it's like, there's no way that you can answer no to any question on that pamphlet. It's like, do you ever black out? Yeah? And? You know what I mean? Like, it always seemed to me like there should be a little something extra. Like, hey, do you ever black out and wake up in women's clothes sleeping with another man? You know what I mean? Like, you know, maybe a little something. You know, it's like, oh, I got a problem. You know, I mean, that kind of thing, you know, or you know, wake up in women's clothes or men's clothes, sleep with another woman, whatever it is you're doing. So anyway, and the other one, do you lie about your drinking? It's like, are you kidding me? You know, it's like, it seems like, hey, if you're telling the truth about your drinking, you belong in here. You know what I mean? It's like, of course I'm lying. Have you ever seen my dad? You know, it's like, what am I going to say? It's like, I come home from high school, my dad goes, "What'd you do today?" "I got a bag down at the park and, you know, ditched school and pimped some booze, and then I was balling that little girl behind us." You know, it's like, are you kidding? You're taught to lie and, you know, about this stuff. And then like the whole lower companion stuff. What's that? You know what I mean? It's not like you're hanging out with upper companions when you get here. It's not like you're sitting in church listening to a sermon and then at the end it's like, "Hey, you want to get some blow and rob this place?" It's not, you know what I mean? It's like, you're not doing it, you know? And then even like judging people. Do you know what I mean? It's like looking at my buddies like, okay, you know, somebody go, "Hey, you pissed yourself, man." It's like, yeah, just right up here. You know what I mean? But look at him, he's got it going down both legs. It's like, he's way more fucked. And even jail. It's like, think about it. Have you ever been to jail when it was fun? Yeah. I went a couple of times fun. You know what I mean? It's like, I remember we'd set out drink and I'd say, "Who wants to go to jail?" And we'd all laugh, you know what I mean? And then a few hours later, it's like, "You gonna call your mom?" You know, it's like, you know, you're in there and that insanity and yeah, okay, yeah, fine. But at the end, no, not so fun anymore. You know what I mean? The insanity got bad. And really quick about this insanity thing, I'm on this insanity, 2 kicks I'm on right now is insanity and fear. And the first one about insanity, do you know that you have to be sober before you can be declared insane? Think about that. If you go to any center, any medical detox center, and they're going to diagnose you, they make sure you don't have anything in you. And I was at this meeting today, and this guy's going, yeah, I was so insane. I took my car and crashed it and called the cops, and it got stolen. I told him it was stolen. Then I was sleeping with my sister, and I blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, you're not insane. You're high. Do you know what I mean? I mean, look you give Mother Teresa enough booze and a couple of pills, I mean, God rest her soul, right? And she'll be pushing ass. I mean, whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's like, if you give someone enough, they will act crazy. That is not insane. You're just on drugs, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, anyone acts like that when they got enough booze. And it's when you're sober and your thinking is still bad. That's when you're insane. That's the insanity. Or even being able to see this stuff. I mean, the book talks about being incapable of being honest. And I believe we're all incapable of being honest up to a certain point in our lives. It is impossible for us to see the truth about ourselves. It's impossible. You know, it's like for me, I'm a restraining order guy. You know what I mean? I'm a keep coming back guy. You know, it's like he's coming back. He's coming back. You know, like one of those. You know, and even think about that. Somebody'd go, hey, dude, she doesn't want to see you, man. She's just mad. No, she doesn't want to see it. She'll get over it. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, no, wake up, man. Wake up. And this is, and no offense to the new guy, because I love the new guy, man. You are the most important person in this room, except as long as you don't think you are. You know what I mean? As long as we think you're important, that's good, but don't you ever think you are, because you're not. So, but it's like, to me, you're important. To you, you are not, if that makes any sense. Stay around and you'll see that makes a lot of sense later on. But anyway, like when the new guy comes in and he's smiling, it's like, are you kidding me, bro? Do you know what I mean? It's like I go in a lot of jails and a lot of prisons. I was in this prison the other day and down there and I walk in, I go, how's it going, man? And the guy goes, oh, it's going real good, Jack. It's going real good. What? You're in prison, champ. Do you know what I mean? Or look, have you ever asked a guy in a recovery house, how's it going? Oh, it's going good, man. It's going real good. You're sharing a room with 4 other dudes, bro. How good is that? Do you know what I mean? That's not that good, champ. You've ruined your life. You know what I'm saying? And you should be very upset about it. And even like waking up, like think about that, like waking up. Could you imagine, like to the people that have been sober a while, you know, and we wake up and we're here, we're asleep coming in, and we're asleep for a while after we get here. Could you imagine if you woke up the first day you came to AA? Could you imagine how frightening that would be? You know what I mean? I mean, it'd be to the new guy, it's like, okay, and a quick announcement. We've got cookie, coffee, and rope in the back. You can hang yourself right now, champ, or if you want to go one more day, we're here for you, baby. You know, it's like, because when you wake up to the son of a bitch you have been your whole life, it is not okay, man. It is not okay. And I'll hear guys say sometimes, like a lot of stuff, I have a lot of opinions, but I'm warning you, I have a lot of opinions. I thought about bringing a little card up. Every time opinion, I'd hold it up and say opinion, so you'd know I have a ton of them. And here's one of them. Know what just gets the hell out of me? Is guys that say, I paid for my seat here, bro. I paid for this seat. You didn't pay for shit. You know what I mean? Anyone that ever loved you, cared about you, or knew you, paid for your seat, and they paid dearly. They paid dearly for it. Think about it. What a selfish thing to say, I paid for this seat. No, paid for my seat? My mom paid. She paid hard. Any woman that ever thought me handsome and charming paid dearly for this seat, you know? It's like, think about it. My kids paid. Anybody, the state of California paid dearly for my seat in Alcoholics Anonymous, and I owe those people. I owe them. I owe them for this. Let me tell you how I ended up here. 26 years old, living with my mother. Always lived with my mother. Thank God, no Al-Anon guy ever got a hold of my mom. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I swear to God, if they would come to my mom's house, I'd get a shotgun and stand on the porch even today and say, not here, baby. You know what I mean? Put a little blood of the lamb on the wall or whatever, but you're staying away from this one, right? So, I mean, because my mom was like, I'd go to jail and my mom would go, I'd get out of jail and my mom would go, they're always picking on you. You know, it's like, you know what I said? Somebody would go, I saw your son out on the lawn. It was hot. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like, they don't understand you. You're an artist. You're a pioneer. You know, that whole trip. So thank God for my mother, man. And I lived at my mother's forever. And anyway, so at 26 years old, I'm living at my mom's. My father, my hardcore Navy dad father, had died. And if anybody wants to talk about having to make an amends to a parent after they're dead, I'll give you my number. Call me. We can talk about it. It was rough. But I did it. And anyway, my father had died. And I'm living at my mother's. And I get a girl pregnant. One of the many women that I was sleeping with at the time got pregnant. And it's like, hey, move in here with me and my mom. Come live, you know. It's like, come live here with us, right? Now, at the same time, I moved this girl into my mother's house. I fell in love with a 14-year-old girl that I met on the street. Okay, and don't judge me hard. I was younger too. I was 25. It was early, man. So anyway, I fall in love with this one. So I got a pregnant girl living at my house. I take the 14-year-old down to Mexico and marry her. Okay, so I don't know if you ever seen Apocalypse Now, but I was like Colonel Kurtz, man. You know, I was bald, bloated, way upriver, and somebody needed to terminate my command. And that's what's going on. But I wasn't insane. I just had a couple cocktails in me. And, you know, so anyway, so that's what's going on, right? And just insanity. 30-something arrests since I was a kid. Most of them were for warrants. That's how you take care of parking tickets. You know what I mean? It's like, you get a ticket. What do you think, I'm going to send in bail? You know what I mean? It's like, they'll get me later and I'll sell it. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be picking up for that kind of stuff. Okay, insanity going on. Like I said, craziness, drinking, pill taking, all that stuff. But hey, that's just the way it is. You know what I mean? Life sucks. This is how it is. I accept that fact. That's what's going on. Here's how I get to the program. A buddy of mine gets busted on a cocaine trafficking charge in front of my mother's house, right? And it was funny because he's a cute guy. You know what I mean? I mean, he's not cute now, and I'm pretty straight. And anyway, there might have been a couple times. But anyway, but you know, like curly blonde hair and freckles, and this is the kind of guy that's not going to do well in county. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I mean, right? All right, and here's an opinion. I believe that more alcoholics are created in court than anywhere else in the world. Not in bars. You know, it's not that first drink, it's court. Because thousands and thousands and thousands of people go into court every day non-alcoholic. And the judge will go, well, Mr. Smith, you're looking at a year's sentence. But if you're an alcoholic, you could do a 60-day treatment program. I'm an alcoholic, sir. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, everybody's won in there, right? Except one guy. Listen, one time I said that at a meeting, and somebody's always got to argue around here, you know? And anyway, this guy walks up to me. He's got tattoos all over him. He walks up to me and he goes, I did the year, dog. Well, then you're a stupid alcoholic, champ. You know, it's like, you know what I'm saying? You ended up here anyway. So that's what my buddy did. He pleads, I got a problem, help me. You know what I mean? I got a problem. And they ship him off to Warm Springs. And you guys are doing whatever you're doing to people up there. You know what I mean? You're getting him all healed and ready to go, right? And he gets up there and he gets all healed up. And he comes back to Long Beach, because that's where I was living, with this crazy walking hand in hand with Bill, Bob, and Jesus trip. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know the new guy, when he gets sober and all of a sudden he wants to save his friends? You know what I mean? I'm sure everybody in here has got one of those calls, you know? And so I get it. The first place he comes to is my mother's house. I go, hey, what's up, dude? You got a problem, man. I go, what? I go, you got the problem, champ. I saw you go down, man. And he goes, you're an alcoholic. No, I'm not. I live with my mom. What are you talking about? He goes, you're an alcoholic, and I'm arguing with this guy about it. We're arguing back and forth about me going to a meeting. He goes, go to a meeting. And I'm like, why? Why? What are you talking about, man? And we're arguing, and for some reason, I said, okay, I'll go. I don't know why. I didn't even like him. You know what I mean? He's smaller than me. I don't know why I said it, but I said, okay, I'll go. I walked away from that meeting, and I walked in the house, and I had a moment of clarity or a spiritual awakening. And I'll tell you, we like to complicate a lot of stuff around here. And if you're new, this is my opinion on a spiritual awakening or a moment of clarity. It's exactly what it says. Waking up. Just waking up a little bit. And if you think of us as an alcoholic, if you think of the physical being of an alcoholic, we are selfish and self-centered. We are right here, and we are incapable of stepping outside ourselves. I was in there, walking back in that house. I stepped outside myself. I looked back, and I said, how often have you been loaded lately? I thought, every day, man. I thought, oh my God, man, I've been loaded every day. I've been drinking, taking pills, smoking weed, a little cocaine, whiffing Pam every day for as long as I could think. And that Pam's bad. Stay away. So anyway, you think meth's bad. Try a Pam run, bro. Anyway, so I'm thinking, okay, and I wake up, like I said, and I woke up just enough. Not enough to see the whole picture, but just enough to say, okay, maybe I'll go on down. Maybe I'll go on down. So I go down to the meeting, and the meeting I went to was the Relapse Center in downtown Long Beach. It's like beautiful downtown Long Beach, that kind of trip. It's the kind of meeting you push your shopping cart up outside, go inside, you know, that kind of deal. I remember walking in there, living at my mother's, no car, underage girls, insanity. I walk up there, I go, loser, scumbag, know that dude from school, bro. Wouldn't get high with you, and I'm not like you. And let me tell you why I'm not like you. Because I'm a Cary Grant visiting drunk dude. I'm a smooth drunk, you know what I'm saying? It's like I get to the bar, I get a couple of drinks in me, and the first place it hits me is right in the cheeks. My cheeks start getting numb. Get a couple more drinks in me, and I start smiling. Couple more drinks, I decide I'm going for a walk. I head down the street, I see a light on. I come up and knock on the door, hey, I saw the light on, who are you guys? What are you doing in there? You know, it's like, I'm a visiting drunk. I'm the kind of drunk you find in your picnic. It's like, do you know that dude, man? It's like, hey, you know? It's like, that's me. Give me a drink, and I like you. Give me a drink and a pill. I love you, man. I love you. Give me a drink, a pill, and a line of cocaine. I want to start a business with you, bro. You know, and that's how I think, right? You take it out of me, I want you dead. Now. You know, I'll tell you, I get in there and I'm thinking, I'm listening to all this crap and I'm saying, no, man. I'm not an alcoholic. My mom's a bitch, bro. No, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm married to an underage girl. Why don't you try that? It's very stressful. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not an alcoholic. The world is cruel. That's what I'm thinking, right? I come in here, I diagnose myself non-alcoholic. And here's the thing, alcoholism is the only disease that has to be self-diagnosed before you can get treatment for it. It does not work. Recovery does not work until you say, I've got a problem. I'm messed up. Doesn't matter what everyone else says. You know, it's what you say. And I diagnosed myself non-alcoholic. And real quick, shame on you guys. Shame on you guys that saw me come in that meeting as a newcomer and didn't stick a hand out. You know, this is another quick opinion. One of the problems I have with Alcoholics Anonymous sometimes is that we're so big. Look at this meeting. Look how big this is. How easy is it for someone to sneak in here, to come in here, and for us not to stick a hand out, to not welcome them, to ask what they're doing here? I mean, really think about that. What I've been taught is that Alcoholics Anonymous is my family. This is my home, my family. It's my job to stick a hand out to the new man and say, what are you doing? How are you? What's going on? Why are you here? What's happening? When we ask for the out-of-town visitors, you know, it's the same thing. We say, hey, do we got any out-of-town visitors? Well, thank you, and that's it. They're not asked to participate. They're not asked, hey, what are you doing here? Can we help you while you're here? None of that. It's like, this is our family. I mean, think about it. Could you imagine you going home, you open your front door, and there's a dude sitting on your couch, right? It's like, hey, who are you, man? I'm Mike from Nebraska. I'm gonna take a shower, bro. I'll see you around. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, what are you doing here? What's up? What are you doing in here? No one came up to me. No one asked me. Because let me tell you something. For the people that have been around here a while, armed with certain facts about ourselves, because what we have learned about the disease and what we know about how we are, we can gain the confidence of the new man. Because we're probably the first person in his life that doesn't say, what the fuck is wrong with you? We know what's wrong with you, man, when you come in here. We got a pretty good idea what's wrong with you. And we're probably the first people that you're going to ever identify with that. You know, and no one did it. No one said a thing to me. Because what you could have said when I told you how I felt and how the booze made me feel is you could have said, Jack, man, take a minute out to look in our book here. Not even the whole book, just right here, this little bit in the doctor's opinion, because they talk about you. They talk about a person that gets a sense of ease and comfort, which comes at once from taking that first drink. And you know what? I didn't even need to take the drink to feel better. Just the thought of taking the drink made me feel better. I'd be somewhere stressing out, going nuts, going crazy. All of a sudden, bing, that little cocktail light'd flash on, and I'd go, bye-bye, I'm leaving. And I'd get in the car and take off. I get in the car, I already feel better. I'm on my way to the liquor store, I feel much, much, much better now. The mental aspect of this disease, I'm already getting relief. Not one drop of booze has touched my lips, and I already feel better. I go to the liquor store, I smile at him. I order the vodka. I love vodka. You know what I mean? It's like he smiles, I smile. I'm feeling 100 times better. I walk outside the liquor store, I take the cap off and throw it. You do not need the cap once the bottle is open. Okay? If you look on the side, the cap is for transportation purposes only. And the minute it's in my hand, I'm done transporting. And I walk outside, I take that first drink, and all of a sudden it's like a pair of arms goes around me. It says, I love you. It's okay. It's like a hug by God. I take another drink, I feel much better. Another drink, I don't live at my mom's anymore. I take another drink, my girlfriend just got older. I take another drink, I got a new job. Did you know I was a detective? You know what I mean? It's like, that's how booze makes me feel. And what I didn't understand is that the booze was a symptom of a greater problem. And look in our book. I love our book. That book is unbelievable, and I just love it dearly, man. And I'll tell you, one of the cool things in the book where it says, if you don't think you're an alcoholic, if you don't think you're an alcoholic, try some controlled drinking to see if you get the compulsion, right, or the obsession. That's great. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. If you want to find out if you're a real alcoholic, try stopping. See how it does. Because the deal with this disease is, it's a threefold disease. Threefold. We got a physical, we got emotional, and a spiritual problem, right? If you just cut off the physical, if you just stop drinking, you got 2/3 problem still there. Now, heavy drinkers, when the drink is just their problem, they stop drinking, they're okay. You take a real alcoholic and stop him drinking, it's not okay, man. It's not okay. And look back and think in your life, have you ever tried to treat any aspect of this disease at any time through your life? Think about it. The physical. Have you ever tried just taking yoga, eating healthy, running? You know what I mean? This is going to solve your problem. Think about it. Have you ever gone to therapy before? Treating the emotional. Have you ever thought, if I just go to enough therapy, if I get this straightened out, I'll be fine? Treating the emotional. Have you ever tried to treat the spiritual by just going to church? If I just go to church and pray, I'll be okay. No. Alcoholics Anonymous treats all three parts of that disease. That's why it's so successful around here, because we treat it all at the same time. I was always treating one part of this disease, but never the other two. Never. And I'll tell you, I left that meeting, I took off because I'm not like you. And I was one of these guys that was in and out. You see them, you know what I mean? I was coming late, leaving early, that kind of trip. And I'm not really an alcoholic, so I don't really got to work these steps. And I don't really got to be coming to meetings or doing any of this stuff. And I was in and out, in and out, in and out. One of these times I was in and out, I got a job as a bartender because I thought that'd be a good job. And on my way to work, I stopped by a friend's house to pick up some mushrooms for another friend. And I'm sitting there bragging to my guy about how sober I am. Lester, that was my man. And I'm going, yeah, Lester, it's good, man. Things are good. Mom's good. The underage girl's gone. Baby's gone. 30 days sober. I got a new job. Is that your bong? Bam. Cunning, baffling, and powerful. Alcohol disguises itself as a skunk bud, hides in this dude's bong, right? That's how you talk about drugs, and the old guys go, is he talking about drugs? They can't figure that one out. So anyway, I had well, never mind. All right, so next thing I know, I got the bong in my mouth. I come to with the bong in my mouth. I wake up and go, oh my God, I just took a hit of weed. I'm sober, I'm stoned. Bam, that fast, right? My first thought was, I ain't going back to AA on one bong hit. You know what I mean? What am I going to do? Come in here, I surrender, I took a bong hit. I'll be GSR. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck. You know what I mean? Are you kidding me? You know, it's like, no, man. My next thought is, oh, you overreacted on that whole sober deal. You overreacted. The thought after that was, it's going to be different this time. Here's how. Well, since I'm smoking weed, I surely need something to wash it down. You know what I mean? A little drinky poo. So, and since I'm drinking and smoking weed, these mushrooms are surely not getting delivered. And they did not. I went to work my first day on the job, and I was fired within a half an hour on my first day. And let me tell you something. When you got time around here, when you start getting cocky about your time, why don't you think about where you are? You know what I mean? Because getting fired within your first day in Alcoholics Anonymous, within a half an hour of your first day, it's not even a record around here. Do you know what I mean? I mean, try it one time. Like, go to a meeting and go, I was fired within half an hour on my first day on the job. Somebody else go, I was fired in 15 minutes on my first day, right? And then somebody else will go, didn't even go my first day, bro. So it's like, that's how we are, you know what I mean? So anyway, I'm fired, I'm on the street, I'm staggering around, I'm threatening people, I'm going nuts, and God shows up. Now, God that night was riding around in the body of this buddy of mine. He's an AA guy, bad tattoos, bald head. Him and God are out for a little stroll. And they run into me, right? And he goes, and by this time, I've eaten 5 grams of shrooms. I've gone way overboard, right? And just losing it. This guy comes up and goes, Jack, are you all right, man? You want some help? I'm like, take me to my mom's, man. I'm like losing it. And let me tell you something, every gangster's got to have a good mom, right? And that we had this guy, it was so funny, we're busting this guy's balls at the morning meeting, this one meeting. He comes up all tough, he goes, yeah, I'm gangster, Long Beach, gangster. Where you living, gangster? I'm over there with my mom on, yeah, all right, champ. So anyway, so, you know, take me to mommy's, you know, so he takes me home, dumps me off, and he says, we'll talk tomorrow. We'll talk tomorrow. All right, I know what that means. You know what I mean? We've all heard that. You know, when you get picked up from jail, let's talk about it tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's like when they come and get you at a phone booth, when the police are after you, we'll talk about this tomorrow, Jack. You know what I mean? It's like when they bail your car out of impound, we'll discuss it tomorrow. You know what I mean? All that, right? I heard it my whole life. I know what we'll talk about it tomorrow means, right? Okay, so the next day, we're talking nice on the phone. Me and this guy, nice. And he's not saying nothing about me being loaded. I bring it up. I go, hey, bro, I was pretty hammered last night, huh? He laughs. He goes, yeah. I go, hey, it's pretty hammered, huh? He goes, yeah. What I'm waiting for is, Jack, you're a loser. Jack, you are a scumbag. Jack, you are an animal. You are trash. Loser, trash, scumbag, animal. I've heard it my whole life. And this is a we don't drink, we don't do drugs AA guy that's seen me half-ass in these meetings, saw me loaded, got me home, saw it all, and it ain't coming from him. And I said, hey, I go, dude, man, I lost my job, man. I'm back, I'm at my mom's house, you know what I mean? I lost my job, I got drunk again, dude. And he goes, I know, Jack. He goes, you know what? He goes, you're probably an alcoholic. He goes, and if you're an alcoholic, you can't stop drinking. And if you do stop drinking, you can't stay stopped for any length of time. That was the first time in my life I ever heard that. I wish that guy was still here. But no, on November 13th of 1988, that guy went out and shot dope for the first time, and he died that night in the car. That man's name was Don Langston. I owe my sobriety to him. A couple of years ago, I went and laid a 15-year chip on his grave. I looked down at the headstone. I never realized it before, but he was 21 years old when he died. That's how I came in here. I lose people right and left. And I'll tell you, for me, I ended up getting sober on January 8th of 1989. I don't know why that day. I don't know why God pulled the plug and said, you're done, champ. You're done. But the plug got pulled. The compulsion was taken from me, but not the obsession. And thank God for the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Thank God for Dr. Bob's story, where he said at the end, unlike other members of the fellowship, it didn't leave him for years. For years. And here's another quick opinion for you. Know what pisses me off more than anything I've ever seen? If you're in an open discussion meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous and somebody says, I feel like drinking, and then some smartass goes, I got 5, go do it. Right? Have you ever heard that? Where else are you supposed to feel like drinking? God forbid here. Don't come here if you want to drink, man. You know what I'm saying? Get your ass over to Target or something. You know what I mean? It's like, drunk in aisle 9 feels like getting down. You know what I mean? It's like, say it here. We lay so much stuff on this, and think about it. And I'm talking to the old timers too in this meeting. A lot of the old timers in Alcoholics Anonymous, you've got your head so far up your ass with pride that you are killing us. You are killing the new man because you are afraid to say what is really going on in your lives. You are afraid to tell us the truth. So you sit there and you hold this shit and you blow all this smoke up our ass about how everything's great and everything's fine. And every morning you wake up and your wife smells like a flower. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, tell us the truth. Because if you tell us the truth, we can do it. We can stay sober. If you tell me, hey, Jack, I got 30 years, man, and I'm really depressed. I'm thinking back on my life. I'm living in remorse. I'm having a hard time today. You know, tell me that. I can make it if you tell me that. When you feel like drinking, tell us you feel like drinking. Tell us you think about you feel like drinking. I thought for years that I was doing something wrong around here because I was thinking about drinking all the time. And I asked my buddy Frank Honeycutt, I said, Frank, man, I think about drinking all the time. And Frank died with almost 40 years of sobriety. And he looked at me, he said, me too, Jack. Me too, man. I can make it if you tell me that. I can make it if you fully disclose yourself, like the book says. You know, and let's get back, let's talk about the book really quick, and let's talk about what happened to me on that relapse. I learned 3 things from that relapse. One of the first things I learned from that relapse is this just don't drink shit. You ever hear that around here? It's not in the book. As a matter of fact, don't drink ain't even in the book. Just don't drink is not in the book. The program of Alcoholics Anonymous starts where just not drinking stops. Check it out. Look at the steps. They already assume you're done drinking. There's no tapering off steps on there. Have you ever noticed that? You know what I mean? It's not like step 1, got enough booze for the weekend. You know what I mean? It's like step 2, shut off the phone. You know what I mean? Step 3, begun to taper. You know what I mean? They figure you're done. You ever read? I mean, we talk about how it works, how it works, how it works. Get the new guy. They can repeat how it works. You know what it says? If you want what we have and are willing to go to any length to get it, then you're ready to do this crap. Not until, man. Not until. The program of Alcoholics Anonymous is way more than just not drinking. And think about, for the people in time around here, think about what we tell the new man. Have you ever thought of that? Go to meetings. Get a sponsor with time. Read the big book. Those are 3 things that were not available to the founders of Alcoholics Anonymous. You ever thought about that? You got a guy with 6 months helping a guy with no months. Let's get a sponsor with time. Nobody's got time. You know what I mean? Nobody's got any time. Well, then we better read the book. There's no book. You know what I mean? It's like, what now? The book ain't been written for 5 years. There's no book. Go to meetings every day, I think. There's no meetings, champ. What now? What now? I'll tell you what now. Get off your ass. Get off your ass. That's what now. Pick up a mop, stop sticking a hand out. One of the biggest cop-outs is in AA is, well, you can't give away what you don't have. Yes, of course. You cannot, maybe you can't discuss the steps at length, but you can tell your story to that new man. You can be the first one that he identifies with. You can say, I know what it feels like to come in here scared. I got 2 days. I just came in on Friday, man. You know, you can start getting out of yourself and getting involved. Getting involved. You know, that's a huge part of it. Another thing really quick, I only got a couple of minutes, and one of the other things that's such a big deal about this is if you're new, and I'm warning you, you will hear a lot of big book thumper, big book Nazi stuff around here. Nazi thumper, Nazi thumper, Nazi thumper. Know what I'm saying? I have been all through that book. The words Nazi or thumper do not appear in there one time. That is not the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. As a matter of fact, the book even apologizes if it sounds like they're lecturing us, because lectures don't work on alcoholics. If they did, I would have got sober in 3rd grade. You know what I'm saying? They just don't. Okay? The next time you guys with a couple of years around here decide you want to beat up on a newcomer for going in and out, in and out, in and out, get out your big book, read Bill's story, and find out how Bill first came up with this message. It was from a continual relapser named Ebby. Think of that next time you're beating up on a new man. You're sitting here because of a continual relapser. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's all right, but understand that this is a disease, and you can't yell a disease out of somebody. It just doesn't work. It does not work, you know, and so like I said, I'm a big believer in that book, man. I'm a big believer in the book and the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. And I'll tell you, I did something today. I got on the internet, and I looked up people that attack Alcoholics Anonymous. Looked it up, right? Give me something to do in the day. And do you want to know what they attacked? I'll tell you what they attacked. Sexism. That's one of the things they attacked around here, which has nothing to do with the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Another thing they attacked around here is sponsors running people's lives. Has nothing to do with the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. The stuff they attack is shit that we've added onto the program. Not our program, not the big book's program, the shit you add onto it. That's what they're attacking, you know? And I'll tell you, this book saved my life. This program saved my life. You know, when we look at running people's lives, I'll hear people go, well, we need that, blah, blah, blah. Great, champ, but that's not what the book says. Look in the chapter to the wives. There's a great thing about that. In the chapter to the wives, it says we never, ever try to shield a man from temptation or guide his affairs in any way. We let him come and go as he pleases. He either wants this or he doesn't want it. You know, and that's not up to us to make that decision. Do you believe in the power of alcoholism? Do you believe that alcohol kicks people's asses? And do you believe the program works? I trust in the program. I believe if you take a drink, you're going to get your ass kicked, man. I believe it. I believe the way that works, you know, and I'll close with this real quick, man. You guys have given me my whole life. And one of the coolest examples of this thing about letting people attraction rather than promotion is in Bill Wilson's story. Bill Wilson had his buddy Ebby, and he loved Ebby. Ebby was his old drinking buddy, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's his buddy Ebby, right? Now, Bill's in New York, he's still drinking, and Ebby's coming into New York, so Bill's stoked. You know what I mean? It's his old buddy. He's saying, oh, I remember when we got a plane, this is nice, Ebby's coming by. Then he finds out Ebby's sober. All right, that's weird. You know what I mean? I never seen this guy sober. He comes in sober, then he finds out he's got religion. That's frightening. Could you imagine if you're getting ready to get down and your Jesus freak buddy shows up at the door? You know what I mean? It's like you got everything laid out on the table. You know, it's like, hey, you know, he walks in. It's like if you don't have acid, you are going to be having a bad time that evening, right? So then Bill looks at him and says, all right, he's got religion. We'll let him rant. Let him rant because hopefully my big book will last longer than this old boy's ranting. And then right after that, he says something so important. He says, but he didn't rant at all. In a matter-of-fact way, Ebby said, hey, Bill, check me out, man. Some guys picked me up from court. They showed me a spiritual way to live. Look at me, man. Look at me. And Bill looked at him and saw something in his face, something in his eyes, and he said, I want that. I want that. That's why we're sitting here. It doesn't say that Ebby came over, caught Bill drinking, and said, Bill, you're a scumbag. Bill, you're a loser. Bill, you're not going to date in your first year. You know what I mean? He said none of that, right? He said, want some, get some. Okay? Real quick, I owe you. I owe the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. You guys have given me a beautiful wife. You guys have given me kids, my mom back, friends that kind of love me. They came up here for the women. They didn't come up here for me. Anyway, so just all that, and I owe you. And we, as members of Alcoholics Anonymous, need to be spiritually self-supporting as well as financially self-supporting. When you get sober here, you get all these gifts, and you turn your back from Alcoholics Anonymous and you walk away. And after maybe a month or a couple of weeks, all of a sudden that job just doesn't taste good anymore. and that wife doesn't taste good, and the kids aren't all right, and everything sucks. You know why it sucks? Because you're leeches. You're sucking off the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, and you're not paying back. And if that sounds like a lecture, I'm sorry, but anyway, we got to pay back. We got to stay here. We got to stick a hand out. We got to welcome the new man and be there and show the way. Show how to work this program. Not tell someone how to work this program. Show it. Show it. And they'll see it in your face. They'll see it in your actions, and they'll want it. They'll want it. That's how we do this program. And I just want to thank you for having me.
Okay, this is how I prepare my drone for launching. I like to do it inside the cab of my truck so I'm not standing outside in the weather. To install the joysticks for control, up and down, right and left, powered on. I have an Android phone that I use to connect it to the drone with, and it's actually controlled through the iPhone, through an app. Oops, wrong way. It's actually controlled through the iPhone, or through this Android phone, through the app. It's actually controlled through the Android phone through an app, and you connect it through this short connection right here.
Remote control connected.
Remote control's connected. So I pull out the drone. I have to extend the legs. Long legs extended first, then the short legs. Remove the gimbal protector. Set that aside, then power it on one short burst, then one long burst. I lay it down. So I have to go to calibrate. So the drone's not connected yet. It shows you here as this drone gets disconnected, even though the remote's powered on. So the drone has to establish it's connected. So I go into the app to calibration mode. First I'll calibrate the remote controller. Start calibration. Out, in, out, in, up, down, and then this little wheel is to control the gimbal. So it's calibrated. Go to gimbal calibration, start calibration, and then it calibrates the gimbal. And if that shows up, the gimbal's moving all over the place. Changes, you can see it on the video. And I'm calibrated to take off. It's acquired 7 satellites at the moment. There are 26 satellites up in the sky, which it has to acquire before you can take off. So it's connected. It's got enough satellites. This is white. I can go to press this little arrow button, swipe right to take off, and it would start the motors if I slid this to the right. But I'll wait till I get outside. Don't want to do it inside.